Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Let's Talk. We haven't done this Let's Talk for at least over a month. I've been missing it. I don't know about you. Have you? I suppose you haven't, because there has been many other exciting and interesting programs that we have been having throughout the month of Ramadan, and that's what's kept all of us busy. Well, tonight we are talking about Eid. Since Ramadan is over, let's start by greeting you with Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak to everyone who's watching. I hope you had a fantastic Eid. We're talking about Eid. Why is it again this year we did Eid on two different dates? I am sick and tired of these divisions that we see amongst our communities, especially amongst the Muslims. Why can't our scholars, for God's sake, agree on how to see the moon? Can you, and do you have to really be so difficult? It's only one moon. How many times do you have to see it? You see it once and just get on with it. Why did we do Eid on two different days? That's what I would like to ask and find out. And of course, you can ask and you can find out. I know I am whinging, but do you blame me after such a palaver? I wasn't ready for Eid, but it happened. Never mind. Let's talk about Eid today and the date of Eid. Can we do Eid on one day ever? That's the question we are exploring tonight. So please do give us a call. And of course, you can ask your question, make your point, or even tell us off if you like. For not doing Eid on one day. Let's start by introducing our guests tonight. Firstly, on my left, we have Sulyaman Gani, who is Imam at the Balam Mosque or Tooting Islamic Center. You will have seen him with me on Channel 4, Make Me Muslim program. So he is not an unknown face to our communities across the country. Sulyaman Gani, welcome to our program, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, alhamdulillah, still in good spirits in this blessed month of Shawwal.
Good to see you, inshallah.
Jazakallah khairan.
Barakallahu fikum. It's he's forever young looking, alhamdulillah. Also, we have brother Qamar Uddin, who is a scientist. He's a research scientist for a government agency. But more especially, he has researched on the issue of moon sighting and all the related issues to do with the moon for the last 10 years. Brother Qamar Uddin, welcome to our program, and assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much for coming. You came all the way from York, and we're very grateful. Well, let's start by asking this question. Since you are the scientist here, let me start by asking the scientist, what's wrong with us? Why do we have to have Eid on two different dates?
Well, if it is only relating to science, then the answer can be given very simply. But we have to package science in the light of the Sharia, what the Quran and Sunnah says. And the Quran tells us that the month can begin from the first sighting of the moon.
Yeah.
Now we have in Islamic jurisprudence fiqh that there are two principles. One is local sighting and other is global sighting. Local sighting is known as ikhtilaf matali, and global sighting is considered as ittihad matali. Now traditionally people have followed only local sighting. So if the first visibility of the moon appeared, say, in Malaysia, the people will start the sighting, do it there. And then, because the sun rises from the east and sets in the west, and it is not a flat earth that everybody sees at the same time, it is a globe. So as you are moving toward the west, it is setting later and later. And as it is getting older, it appears higher in the sky and more easier to see. So people say in Pakistan, after a few hours, they would see the same moon few hours later, and they'll do their Eid. And say people in Saudi Arabia will see that moon a bit later on, and etc. until to the west. Now, from the first visibility point, the moon should be sighted throughout the whole world in 24 hours. However, unlike the international dateline, the first visibility can happen from anywhere on the globe. And so the 24-hour of the moon may overlap with two solar dates and sometime over one solar date. So
okay, so we're getting a bit complicated already, but let's get to that in a second. Let me ask you this question, our viewers. If you're watching this program, are you happy with what's going on with the Muslim communities not being able to finish their fast on the same date, start their Eid on the same date, and celebrate Eid with their families? You know, if you have a family member in Birmingham, they may have done Eid on a different day than the one you did in London. And is it all to do with the influence of foreign countries? Is it because Saudi Arabia has declared Eid, the rest of the country had followed? Or is it because there were local sighting or global sighting? What do you make of it all? Let me take a call and then I'll, of course, come to Sulyaman Gani. Assalamu alaikum, caller. Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Oh, well, the person has gone. When you do call us, please do switch off your volume in the television so we can hear you and we don't have an echo. Please do keep calling and we will definitely take you on. Sulyaman Gani, you are a scholar. You have studied Sharia since, I don't know, probably your very young days. And you are now a renowned established authority in Britain. What's wrong with this scholastic community of ours? Why can't our scholars decide on one formula that would fit the whole country? What's wrong with it?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, mashallah, I think what's the main problem? First of all, we go back to what the Quran says, and thereafter, in addition to what Brother Qamar Uddin, somebody who is a specialist in this field, what we are saying is that all these calculations and data, where the confusion lies, that people are thinking that we are using this data to establish our months. This unity can only be established if we maintain the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. La tasumu hatta tarawu al-hilal, wa la tuftiru hatta tarawhu. You cannot start your Ramadan by the actual physical sighting of the hilal, end your Ramadan by the actual physical sighting of the hilal.
Where?
Now this is the question, where? Now here in the UK we have a very unique situation, geographical location. The scholars and even from great scholars, the likes of Imam Subki, have all explained that it is very natural, the natural order of Allah with regard to the phases of the moon, that the night always begins on the countries on our east. So as we go westwards, the hilal will get bigger and bigger. So that is why, as Imam Subki says, that you would look, إذا ثبتت رؤية الهلال في البلاد الشرقية لزمت رؤيته في البلاد الغربية دون عكس. If there is a sighting of the hilal of a crescent on any country on our east, any country, including Saudi Arabia, as long as it is a credible sighting, as long as it does not go against the natural order of Allah, الشمس والقمر بحسبان, the sun and the moon are computed. Allah Ta'ala says in Surah Yasin, وَالْقَمَرَ قَدَّرْنَاهُ مَنَازِلَ حَتَّى عَادَ كَالْعُرْجُونِ الْقَدِيمِ. The moon, Allah has kept the phases until it becomes like the shape of that wooded date.
But hang on. Sorry, Sulyaman Gani, you are making the whole discussion more complicated than my question. Right. The answer is fantastic. I like that. But let me make it clear. So for me, I'm a man of very little knowledge perhaps on this topic. Let me explain this to me. Rasul said that it should be cited for the beginning and the ending of Ramadan. Yes. Where should it be cited? Anywhere in the world. How can that be possible? If, for example, in New Zealand, they celebrate New Year one day ahead of what we do, it's impossible in terms of the time zone for us to start celebrating Eid, beginning and ending of our Ramadan based on moon being sighted in any parts of the world. It doesn't make sense, scientific sense.
That is where the issue is. We have said country on the east. Now, if you look at the west, you're not going to get this big. That is why 24 hours.
Say, for example, furthest east of the planet today is New Zealand. Furthest east you can go from where we are. If they'd see it in New Zealand, they would have seen it one day ahead.
No, I think this is where Brother Qamar will clarify that point. The international solar dateline he will explain. But I'm saying a credible sighting on the east, as long as in the country moon is on the horizon, people have sighted it. Then as you go westwards, you have to have a sighting, meaning the sunset is later on the western horizon, hilal will be bigger, and people, if they claim the sighting, then country on the west of that country will also have a sighting. So
what you're saying is, it's not just one country where sighting should be, it must be locally sighted everywhere.
So everywhere, there are countries that only do local sighting. They do not even rely on a country on the east. Like we have country like Morocco, country like Egypt, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh. They all do local sighting. They do not rely on any country on the east.
It makes no sense to me still, because we live in a modern day and age, Brother Qamar Uddin, and I want you to answer this question because you are a scientist and you know the complexities of this. But let me take a call. Assalamu alaikum, caller. Hello, assalamu alaikum.